Welcome to Unconventional Success, where we are rewriting the rules for female solopreneurs. I'm your host, Tiffany Dawson, a business and mindset coach. I help women who value freedom to earn the income they need to facilitate the lifestyle they want. I'll share interviews with successful female founders and my own tips on how to build a bulletproof mindset, make your own rules for your reality, and think strategically about your business so you can earn free-flowing revenue while spending quality time with your family. Remember, you can do life and business in a totally unconventional way and be wildly successful at the same time. The only person you need permission from is you. Hello and welcome to another episode of Unconventional Success. Really happy to have you here today. Really excited to be talking to you about this topic. And this is for you if you're the type of person who has these grand visions of having all the spare time in the world to read through your book list, to go to a cafe and sip oat flat white just in your spare time on a work day because you've created so much time freedom. Maybe you have visions of yourself learning how to play the guitar or even finishing updating your website. But when it comes down to it, in those moments where you do have a bit of spare time, you end up not doing any of those things at all. I see you. I know what it's like. I see you clearly because I have been that person before. I still find myself doing that now when I don't follow the advice I'm about to give you in this podcast episode. So listen in if you are wanting to be more intentional with the spare time that you create, because let's face it, if you are a business owner, you probably started your business so that you could have more spare time. So you could have that freedom to do whatever you want when you wanted, to take time off for friends and family who are visiting town without having to ask your boss for permission, to be able to step away from work and look after your child or your friends who are coming over and just do whatever you want, right? But a lot of the time we trap ourselves in this lifestyle that doesn't meet our big dreams and visions of having all that freedom. We trap ourselves into this lifestyle of running a business where we feel guilty if we've stepped away, if we have spare time, if we're not working on business, we feel like we should be. That it still feels naughty to take time off to do something unrelated to income generation. So yeah, very relatable to a lot of my clients and probably you as well if you're listening into this. So want to talk about this today for sure. And this episode was inspired by a question that I got in the Overflow Collective expert session that I ran today. And it's the first expert session for Overflow Collective. I talked all about how to collapse time so that you can achieve more without feeling like you're working harder or spending more time. And I spoke about 3 key mindset, practical, and energetic aspects to business in order to collapse time, in order to be more effective, not more productive in business, and to feel like you're in control, to feel like you aren't being taken by a ride with this thing called entrepreneurship. It's just something that you can take away and find some practical tools and strategies to take control over your time and achieve the things that are actually important in business. But anyway, what the question that I got at the end of this talk was that this member said that she loves to-do lists. You know, she's the type of person who thrives at checking things off. She's really motivated by getting things done urgently and quickly. That really gives her a buzz. And I know so many people who are like this. I've worked with loads of people like this in the past. But she knows that in the short term, it feels good. She's able to tick something off. She knows she's done something. But in the long term, it didn't make her feel expansive. It didn't make her feel good because at the end of the week or at the end of the month, she knew she did lots of tasks, but she didn't feel like she was any closer to her goal. Right. So, and then off the back of that, she tried different strategies to manage her time. So instead of using to-do lists, she used the strategy of one big thing a day. So she would figure out at the start of the day, what is the one key thing that I want to get done today? And maybe there's a secondary or third task that she wants to get done. But that's it. So instead of failing to finish her to-do list every day, she had a really short list of things that she wanted to tick off. And then once she'd done those things, the key was that she needed to take the rest of the day off. But on the odd occasion that happened, all of that spare time that she had at the end of the day, it just felt like a waste of time. It felt like she wasn't getting anywhere, right? So this is really common again. And if this is the type of message that you're wanting to learn more about, this kind of topic of getting the right things done in business without having to use any of those productivity hacks, without doing more stuff, because who wants to do more? We want to do less, right? But be more effective at it. Then I'd really encourage you to join the Overflow Collective, because this is a recording and you'll get all of the other recordings based on past months that you haven't joined. You'll get this as soon as you join as well. So you can watch the whole session and see what practical tips and strategies you can take away to benefit your own time in business as well. But I did want to focus on this specific question today, which was, when I do have that spare time, how do I make it not feel like a waste of time? This is really common for people who thrive on feeling productive. Spare time feels like a waste, right? I should be doing something with this. Time is a finite, finite resource. I should be using this to the best of my ability. So when we break it down, basically, she didn't know what to do when she had spare time. And it's not just this member. It is probably every single one of us. If you have ever wasted time, you're in the same boat. You also don't know what to do with yourself during spare time. I know for me, if I'm not intentional with my spare time, I end up, first of all, scrolling on social media, right? If I've got a spare 5 minutes between calls and I don't know what to do with myself, or I haven't kind of set an intention of what I'm going to use that spare time for, I will pick up my phone and I will very happily spend/waste 5 minutes on Instagram just scrolling through other people's content. Sometimes that's fun if I've intentionally done that, but a lot of the time it's not intentional. I didn't want to spend that time on Instagram, but it was the path of least resistance. My phone was right there. It was just the easiest thing to do, to fill my boredom, to fill my spare time, to not have to make a decision as to how to spend my spare time. So I did that. Or if I've got a bit longer, I might be like, oh, okay, I've got 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I might whack on a load of laundry. I might go and walk the dogs, which is sometimes very useful, actually, walking the dogs. But I will fill that time with things that I feel I should be doing. Emails, replying to my accountant, again, all things that need to be done at some point. But is that really how I wanted to spend my spare time? Is that really how I dreamt about spending my freedom-based lifestyle when I first started my business? No, I didn't want to spend my time replying to emails. So that goes to my point here. Spare time can be intentional. I think the term spare time can really throw us off guard. It's spare, it's like not useful, it doesn't mean anything. But actually, this is what we live for. This is why we built our businesses, to have freedom, to have free time. So why not use it to the best of your ability? So one thing that I have helped my clients do in the past is to use their spare time intentionally. And one way that you can do this is by actually writing a little menu. And it's a spare time menu, I would call it, of things that you could do when you find yourself at a loose end, when you find yourself with a bit of extra time. And these should all be things that don't seem productive on the surface, right? So things like reading a book or learning how to play the piano or going for a walk around the block or meeting a friend or making yourself a nice cup of peppermint tea and sitting at the end of your garden because that is the spot that's sunniest at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. All of these things should be activities that are so unrelated to productivity and business that it might on the surface feel like a waste of time, but if you drill into it, it is actually the best way that you can use your time possible. If you are a solo business owner, having these opportunities to create white space or to give your brain something completely different to do, to think about, to rest from, can be so beneficial for your creativity and that feeling of expansiveness. And also, how luxurious does it feel to just spend 2 hours in the afternoon because you felt like it lying in the middle of your garden lawn facing the sun? Why not? How good does that feel? How much does that feel like such a, I don't know, it's just like such a vibe to be able to do that. You can tell your friends, yeah, what did you do yesterday? I lay in the garden sunbathing, doing nothing, and making money at the same time. Like that is the dream, right? So this is the type of activity that's going to give your brain a rest. And I will bet you $50 that when you do these restful activities, when you do these activities on your spare time menu, that you will get so many ideas pop up. I can't tell you the number of emails that I have had to send myself midway through a dog walk because I've had so many content ideas. And these are always times where I'm not purposely thinking about business. It's just because my brain has had a chance to rest. It can be more creative. It has not forced an idea out. It's not pushed something out just because I need to get something done right now. It's like, it's had time to rest. All these ideas are coming to me. And also having these times and white space can really help you to expand the way that you think. Draw on experiences around you, draw on the things that you can see around you. And isn't that what it's all about to be a creative entrepreneur? Creating value for your audience, for your clients, coming up with new ideas to serve them in ways that they've never been served before. What do you think about this so far? I would be so keen to know. And if you are on Instagram, please do send me a DM. Are you going to start up your spare time menu? And what's going to be the first thing that you write on that menu? I'd love to hear it. I feel like everyone I've worked with as private clients in the past have all had such huge differences within their spare time menus. Like I couldn't have even thought of some of those actions, and it's all going to be so personal to you. So really looking forward to hearing your spare time menus. What else? This topic that I talked about today within the Overflow Collective, it's a super impactful talk. I talk about 3 key areas to either improve in your mindset or in like the practical day to day to really get as much as you need done to be successful, because I truly believe that success is not dependent on the number of hours you work in your business. Success is dependent on how creative you can be, how well you can manage your mindset and your energy, how intentional you are with your time and the activities that you do. So have a think about that. If you feel like you're really stretched for time, you're, like a really busy mum, business owner, maybe you're employed as well, and you've got a side hustle on top of that, you've got loads of things going on, and you feel like you're just so pressed for time, just know that the number of hours does not equal success. It's really about that intentionality. So you have got this. You've got everything within you to be successful. You don't need more time. You don't need to do more tasks. You just need to do the right ones. And also, when you do have spare time, or when you purposely create that spare time for yourself, to use it in ways that make you feel expansive, that give you that creative energy boost, that gives your brain a rest, so that you can be at your best when you go back to doing business activities. It is so important. It's something that's overlooked by so many business owners. And maybe it's a lesson that we all have to learn by experience. Like, there's no amount of telling somebody to take a rest before they take one. They have to really come to it themselves. So I'm hoping that this has inspired you to go out, set some free time for yourself, be intentional with that spare time, write yourself a spare time menu, and I can't wait to hear what you come up with. If you are interested in joining Overflow Collective, the enrollments for starting in September are open now. So you can start enrolling now. I'll leave a link in the show notes, and you'll gain access to everything I've spoken about on the 1st of September. So that includes all of the past recordings from the sessions in the past, including this training that I gave. You'll also get immediate access on the 1st of September to the Overflow Collective Slack channel, which is super active. We talk a lot about getting accountability for things, solving each other's problems. I am always there every weekday on hand to share with you any tips and tricks that I've got. If you've got questions about business, or if you've got other things that you want to talk or vent about with family or other areas of your life, we are all mothers and entrepreneurs in there. We get you. We are there to listen and be a shoulder to lean on. So please do join up if that is something that you would value. I'll leave a link in the show notes. I look forward to welcoming you into the Overflow Collective, and I will be back next week with an interview from someone very special, loads of practical sales and marketing advice. So that's my little sneak preview of what's coming up. So make sure you subscribe if that's something you don't want to miss. And I look forward to speaking to you again next week. Bye. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, I'd be so grateful if you could help me spread the word that this podcast is here to help other female solopreneurs just like you. Please give this podcast show a rating and review wherever you listen to podcasts, and subscribe if you'd like to see when future episodes come out. If you have any questions about the topic spoken about today, I'm always happy to answer your questions. Come and find me over on Instagram at @TiffanyDawson_ and shoot me a DM. I'd love to help. Until next time, take care.